welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited because tonight I have the amazing Professor Hotchkiss with us, and I'm so excited to get to chat with her and just ask her all of our amazing questions. So why don't we go ahead and let her in? Hang on. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Hi, nice to see you. Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. I can't hear you. Hold on. Are you muted? Something's wrong. Well, while we're waiting for the sound, let's put on some music. Chaos is already afoot, says Morgan. Do we need to try again? I have no idea what's going on over there, but something crazy is going on, and Morgan says something is fishy. Hang on. We're gonna fix this. You give me a moment. We're gonna fix this. I don't know. Someone's missing here. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, so we just can't hear you. Oh my god. This is so fun. I just love this for us. I just love it. Okay, watch this. The stream, but I'm going to restart your video, okay? Alright. Oh my gosh. The chaos. The absolute chaos. Okay. I'm like texting them instructions. Just give me a thumbs down if you can see me calling out the imposter. Oh, so good. This is gonna be a fun night, y'all. I can see everyone melting down in the chat. Sorry. Please forgive me. I'm still so new. Please answer me. Beautiful. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Let's add you in. Woo!
That's good.
Oh my gosh, the chaos.
Oh, can she hear you now?
I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, the absolute chaos. Hold on, I'm adding her in. You guys be patient. You see how unprepared we were? They can hear you, yeah. Oh, the worst. Okay. Watch this. Here she comes, y'all. You just hold on, give me a second. Everyone who wants to start streaming. It's so much work. I haven't put you on yet, but you're super cute.
I'm ready. I see somebody yelling Hachi in the chat.
Yeah, they can hear you now.
Ahoy, ahoy!
Okay, fine. Jeez, if you want to do it that way.
I love being complicated. It is what I do. Not intentionally, it stresses me out.
Now you guys can see all the fun that is my screen. Look at that. This is chaos. This is chaotic. Full screen now. Oop, nope. Ah. Go away. Alright.
Here we go.
Shoo.
Hotchkiss to Earth! Come in, Earth! Oh, okay, I think we're rolling. Now, let's take a look at these hallways. So rich in detail. You'd never know it was built in the 19th century. It's all so 18th C.
So good. Oh my god.
Thank you. That's all I've got. Hotchkiss out. Goodbye. That's all you guys get.
And that was Spilling the Tea with Susie. Thank you, bye. Oh my word. So, that was a little more chaos than we originally anticipated.
Very so.
Do you want to bring Ricky back?
They just left.
No!
But yes, Ricky was here. She says hi and bye.
Oh my god.
It was a good test for her for next week, since she is up next from what I hear.
Know. Oh yeah, little announcement. Ricky's coming on next, so stay tuned.
Spilling the tea with Susie before Susie spills the tea. I do what I can.
She's breaking NDA over here.
That's what I do.
Oh my word. Okay, so
Send Ricky back. Send Ricky back. Ricky doesn't. I have to go put kids to bed.
Oh my god, you guys are so cute. The best. The absolute best. Okay.
It was wonderful.
Wow, that's loud. Loud music. Okay. So here's the fun thing. So, because I have you on Discord, and I haven't completely fixed the Discord problem yet, if I move my mouse even slightly, you will disappear. So we're gonna play really carefully tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, the video will disappear. It'll just turn black. So
that's fine. That's fine. Discord is fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So I don't know what the problem was with the sound earlier, but it ruined our little joke.
Yes, it did. Hotchkiss prank. Oh, you're such a good sport, Nadine. Especially when Hotchkiss's pranks don't work.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm always the person that's like, I would rather be prepared. Like today, I was doing something that required a pomegranate, and I went to multiple grocery stores because I'd rather be late and prepared than, underprepared. So this is fine. We were just a little late and prepared.
It's fine.
Now.
Yeah, you know what? We're here now.
We are here now, and that is what matters.
Oh my gosh, so good.
I'll take it.
Okay, do you want to get to some questions?
Yes, please. Let's go.
All right, so Shannon says, OMG, I've been listening to this while driving, and what chaos. Yeah, this has probably been my most chaotic one yet.
And Liv hasn't even been on yet. You know what? Once you have Ginger Honey Love Beat, I think she's going to break it.
Wait,
honestly.
when is she on? Let's find out when is this breaking?
Bestie, I'm calling you to the floor. I also brought actual tea, my dudes.
That's awesome, so you can spill it. Yeah.
Hopefully not. This is nice equipment that I'm borrowing from a friend.
It looks really good.
It is not mine. It is all hers, and I am very thankful for her. So, shout out to Hot Iron Pot. That's her Discord handle. That's her streaming handle. She's great.
That's awesome. When is Liv coming on? Oh, she's coming on the week after Ricky.
The 16th.
Yeah.
All right, bestie.
Can you believe it? I've got you. I've got Ricky. I've got Liv. All back to back to back.
There's so much. I know some of your lineup because you read it out to me last week, and I'm just so stoked for all of the guests you're going to have.
Me too.
Oh my buckets. It's gonna be so great.
It's gonna be so great. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go ahead and get to some questions since we're here now. Okay, so the first question for you is, did you draw your own profile picture? Oh, hold on. We can't hear you now. Help, I didn't move. Ah! Is it maybe it's the sound equipment? Oh no. Oh no, this is messy.
How about now?
Yes!
I'm back? Okay.
Yes. Okay, what happened?
Nothing. I just pushed the same button that was already selected, and apparently that worked.
Okay, there you go. Well, we'll remember that for if it happens again.
Okay.
Okay, so the question was if you drew your own profile picture.
I used a site called Azalea's Dolls. She has different doll creators. And then I took, because she didn't have any long hair options and she didn't have any shirt options that I wanted. So I cut the hair and just kind of Frankensteined it. And then that influenced this, because my hair was long before.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. And then added the Treasure in the Royal Tower hallway background, and then my initials for Hotchkiss. So it's not a straight up drawing that I did because I am in no wise an artist, but I am an expert in shenanigans. So
this is true. This is.
I try.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite kind of puzzle? I guess in the games or otherwise? Not really sure.
Okay. My current favorite to do physically, aside from nonograms, which I know people have hate for those, is color Sudoku.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you can get it on Amazon, and it's wonderful. I'm not sponsored. It's basically a wooden board with little cutouts in it, and then you've got colored wooden marbles, and then you place the beginning pieces just like the numbers would be out on the board, and there's a number guide on the side so you can use any Sudoku puzzle for it, and then you just place little wooden marbles in, and it's Mr. Hotchkiss and I do that over lunch break sometime, and it's just really fun and soothing. Yeah, you can do it with other people, you can do it by yourself, and you can have it as a nice little coffee table decoration type thing.
That's
good time.
Neat. Oh, I love that. So, Sudoku is, by the way, my favorite kind of puzzle. I love Sudoku.
I'm just trying to butter you up, Susie. That's honestly what's going on.
She's like, oh yes, look at my wrist. This is my favorite thing. Yeah. Okay, so is your favorite character Professor Hotchkiss?
Sort of. I've always loved her kooky and quirkiness, and she has some of the best quotes, but I have a different tier list for favorites. My favorite phone character has been and will always be Marcus, because he is just...
Yes.
Oh my buckets, he's so wonderful. He makes Captive Curse. He's the reason I play Captive Curse.
Yes. Literally.
He's perfect.
Of all the phone characters, and there are some really good ones, such such as
Yes.
Eustacia and Drop Off, and
Oh my,
Elvis
Eustacia's
Swenson,
wonderful.
and
Yes.
Casey Porterfield, all amazing characters, but nobody holds a candle to Marcus Bone.
Marcus is just so quotable, but he's also very real to me. That is the type of humor and like deadpan sarcasm and just quippage that my family utilizes, and my family is from Germany.
Really?
So it feels like I'm listening to a family member on the phone, and it's
so
wonderful.
Fun.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
It's definitely one of the best accents in the game, too.
Yeah, it is really good. Casey agrees that Marcus is definitely the best, and Morgan says, please give a shout out to Sleuthy. Shout out to Southern Sleuth.
Here,
and...
have a drumstick.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Thank you.
So good, so good. So, of the Nancy Drew games, which do you think is the most average? Like, not the best, but also not the worst?
A good middle ground, like, not the first game I'd recommend to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of like yeah, it's a game.
It's like asking me to pick a favorite book, or it's an okay book. I have books that I don't like, but I have books, like, if I don't like them, if I don't like them, I love them. It's the games.
I know.
But a truly mediocre game. I'm trying to break down the eras.
I feel like this could get into hot take like real fast.
Yes, very fast. And I love all of the games. I genuinely do. I have hot takes on games where I don't like certain components, but there's not one I actually hate.
Yes.
So to say that I'm kind of lukewarm on one, I mean, sometimes I'm lukewarm on Waverly Academy.
Okay.
I love it, but there are times where it's just not it, and it's a very small window for when I really, really want to play it.
That makes sense. Yeah. I feel like a lot of games are like that for a lot of us. And, like, I feel like no matter what you answer for this one, people are going to come out of the woodwork to be like,
I
wrong.
know! Scared.
It's too funny. So, if you could put Professor Hotchkiss into any game physically, which would it be?
Mystery of the Seven Keys.
Really?
Oh, I mean, yes, thank you. It fits. I mean, the tie to Marie Antoinette, the tie to French history, the draw between Prussian history and French history, like that all collided when Marie married King. And it's like you have two worlds intersecting there, which I find fascinating.
Oh, it would be so good.
But I would love to see, aside from that, physically in a game, I think she would be fun to like pit against someone else.
Ooh.
Not necessarily petty, but she doesn't realize that she's coming across as maybe not condescending, but like undermining somebody's work. So she meets Charlena Purcell and says something about like, oh, it must be so easy to write things that don't require any true historical fact checking.
That would be so
Like, I want her to have something where she has no idea she was just a total jerk.
Oh my gosh, that would be so... I would, like, buy the heck out of that game and just play the heck out of that game.
It would be really funny.
Live for the petty drama.
Yes, it's petty, but it's so excellent because she has no idea it's happening. She just says things and totally puts her foot in her mouth, but is unaware of it, and everyone around is just like...
Yes.
Everyone else is reacting. Hotchkiss is in her own little world. That would be fun.
Love this. Let's make this happen. The chat is actually really interesting right now. So
I know, I'm just checking it out.
Jetpack says that Waverly is never it for her, and Ricky says that Wave is in her top 5. So it's funny, like it's always so different for everybody.
Flash tree.
It's also yes, that would be so good. Oh. It's also in my top 5. Waverly is so.
I love the game. I truly do. It's the one that has the seasons changing, and it's very cozy. And And every time I want to click and play it, I'm really excited until I start to play, and then there's a moment where I just get... You have to introduce yourself to everyone, and the ball doesn't really start rolling for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I need to be in the fall or in the winter months when I'm burrowed into my own little introverted burrow, and that's the moment to play the game. But today, where there's so many games where right off the bat it's exciting or intriguing, or you immediately have things to do that don't feel like you have to talk to this person to do that thing, it's not it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Liv, yes, it does. Thank you, Liv, for correcting everyone in the chat. It is, in fact,
it's
whack.
Whack.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what made you start your account, your Professor Hotchkiss account?
I'd almost have to go back and look. There's a project I've actually been wanting to work on that I haven't yet, mainly because I haven't had the time this summer to do so. And I've mentioned it a little bit to a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically to make an account to, first of all, maybe do that content, which once I post it, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is awesome. Definitely not something you've seen yet. And I hope it's visually acceptable. The other reason I made the account was because I wanted a place to share excitement for the new game and for the... How do I put it? All of the unhinged chaos that we perpetuate in the chats without using my own personal account. Mm-hmm. Because I have so many personal friends that, some of them know that I'm into Nancy Drew, and there's quite a few that don't, or they only know the surface level. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have that eyes glazing over moment when somebody sees my post or I'm talking to them, because that's one of the most painful things when you share something you love, regardless of what it is, and all of a sudden the person across from you just disengages and you see it every time. No one can mask it. No one can mask that they're not interested in what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So putting that on my personal Instagram page just felt very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And it feels much more comfortable to do it behind Hotchkiss.
Absolutely.
I can be as crazily unhinged and put UFOs everywhere and drumsticks on literally everything, and none of you mind, which is lovely, and I really appreciate that.
Because we are all of the same family here.
Yes.
In the Nancy Drew fandom. We are truly a family, and we all understand the same inside jokes, and we all are live for the same chaos. So you are not only are you so accepted here, but you're so wanted here.
Thank you. I don't need big feelings right now, Susie. Okay, I gotta make it through it.
Oh, okay, I'll change.
But thank you.
The subject really quickly. Okay, let's see. Are you nerdy about anything else?
Yes. I am incredibly nichely nerdy about Victorian and Edwardian garments.
Ooh, that's
the construction. I'm going to put the plug out there. If none of you have watched Bernadette Banner, any of her content, go do so now. Pin Set Tailoring, his content is amazing too. There's so many out there, but she...
Wait, is this on Instagram?
This is on YouTube and Instagram. I have her book. I am obsessed with her content.
Hang on, let's check it out. Bernadette what?
Bernadette Banner.
Okay, hold on.
She worked on Broadway as a seamstress. She also studied historical garmentry and is in the process of studying, but also she recreates garments in the way they would have been created at the time. So she made my favorite series of hers is the Lady Sherlock series, where she makes a Victorian outfit from undergarments all the way to the deerstalker cap. Female version of Sherlock Holmes. And it's excellent. Ulster coat. Because it was set in the 1890s, she could use an 1892 hand-turned sewing machine. So she utilizes that, but she also hand sews pretty much everything because that's what she loves to do. So her content, she's historical accuracy is kind of garbage. There's no way to say that something is or is not historically accurate. but you understand so much more about garments and their structure, and like it delves into the modern world.
Yeah.
I mean, this sweater, when I got it, it had a hole right here on the arm because the machine missed a couple stitches. And rather than returning it, I used a back stitch that I learned from Bernadette Banner's channel.
That's amazing.
To stitch it up, and it's withheld the wash, and it's fine. And I'm really excited about the fact that I didn't have to return something that could have, been thrown away because no one else would have worn it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make sure that this stays with me, and I have a little bit of myself in it now, and a little bit of Victorian backstitching sewing techniques, which is
amazing.
So silly, but it's definitely something I get very nerdy about.
That's not silly at all, and I can see like the passion like in your face, and I can hear it in your voice, and that's so fun.
I could talk your ear off on this subject. I have a hard time watching period dramas when they make an effort to be historically accurate in terms of like overall the entire setting. There's certain period dramas that take freedom and license with what they
Absolutely.
make, because they're like, this is intentional, this builds the world, so we will do things in a way that is different.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other ones that look like they just pulled everything from some sort of closet. Everything's made out of polyester, nothing is natural fiber, nothing was even pressed properly or fitted to a person. And then there's the whole like corset tightening scenes. I hate them.
Good Lord.
There is a video, and I'll probably just post it to my stories, the link to it, from another YouTuber that I love, who's Polish. Her name's Karolina. And it's basically just a series, like the beginning is just corset tightening scenes in the beginning of films, and then the rest of it is actual like photographs, and I think even some videos from the Victorian era and early Edwardian period of women skiing down mountains, boxing, playing tennis, doing acrobatics, working, like all in corsets.
Amazing.
It was made to fit you, it was made to be comfortable, it was made to be supportive. And with like the statistics of how many people have scoliosis, oh my gosh, I'm going way into this. So many females have scoliosis, so this corset would have molded itself to you and actually been very supportive, very comfortable, and would have helped you with that pain.
Absolutely.
So, like, could they be uncomfortable? Could people have tight-laced? Could there have been issues with fit and things like that? Absolutely. But it is not as colloquially across the board, because if that were the case, it wasn't practical and it would have been expensive. Yeah. Why would they have made something so expensive that was impractical? Yeah. That every woman wore. And even men wore them too. Before they were called corsets, they were called stays up until sometime in the early 1820s or 30s is when they started becoming corset. Before then, they were definitely stays.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I'm sure you're aware, I'm a bridal stylist. And
yes.
Corsets,
you are a wedding dress.
I'm a wedding dress. Corsets are huge in the bridal industry. So not only do I know how to properly lace a corset, you're welcome.
Bless you.
I know, but like I know how amazing they are and how comfortable they are and how supportive they are. And like we will put a corset into a dress if like if somebody doesn't fit into a dress, but it's like their dream dress. We only have one, it was discontinued 3 years ago, and like we have one left. We'll put a corset in to keep this girl in the dress because it was too small, and it's so great. Like corsets are amazing.
They really, and they protect the outer garment too. Yeah. Like if you think of the structure of it, it will keep the seams on the outer garment from being strained. So your bride who's in her dream dress doesn't have to worry about shifting slightly and ruining her big day because her dress doesn't work.
Right, I know, and that's a huge thing too. Like people will be like, "Oh, I'm so afraid. I don't want a strapless gown because I'm so afraid of like my dress falling down." And I'm like, "Listen, I have to get real with every bride about this. I'm like, if that happens, I have not done my job. The seamstress has not done her job. Like, would have failed you astronomically if you have to even pull your dress up once during your wedding." It's so crazy.
People like you in this world, Susie, honestly.
It's just like, it's kind of a dying thing, and you kind of have to be in the right industry or have the right hobbies to know. And
Yes.
the average person doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was a really great tangent, though. I'm seeing people are loving this. Oops, sorry, I just made her disappear. My bad. People are loving this, so.
Oh, yay!
So good. All right, next question is kind of a spoiler for multiple games. So, if you are watching and you haven't played Treasure in the Royal Tower or Legend of the Crystal Skull, close your ears. So, if Lisa is running down the stairs with Marie's journal, and Renee is getting away by boat, who are you chasing after?
Lisa.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's way more valuable.
History is so much more valuable than any rock or carbon structure, or non-carbon structure because it's quartz.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
I know. This one was like a no-brainer for me. I was like, I can't read the diary. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, Liv's wedding dress had a built-in corset. That is amazing.
Mine did too, and I really appreciated it. I would have replaced the cord with actual cord instead of the satin cord that I was given, but it was pretty, so I don't care.
They all come with satin cord.
I know.
Unless there's kind of a new thing, kind of a new trend here. I will let you guys in on a little bridal secret. The new trend is like laces, like shoelaces almost, and they're like riveted holes, and then like a shoelace on. It's amazing. I love it.
Definitely closer to a Victorian corset then, because
it's cool.
Yeah, the cording would have been done basically in the way of a shoelace. The threading would have been from like the way it would have been formed, the cord.
Well,
so it's very similar.
Give me any light.
Oh no, are you in the dark?
Yeah, so the lighting is going down, and this is not my home. So I didn't realize that it was going to get so dark in here. Okay, it's getting a little brighter.
I'm not at home either. This is excellent. Seem to be having a problem with my internet, as Hotchkiss would say, and I can't get it to fix itself, so a friend benevolently is letting me utilize her space.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, friend. Oh my gosh. Okay, so do you prefer games that take place over days with an alarm clock, like Treasure in the Royal Tower or Message in a Haunted Mansion, or do you like games with a set schedule, like The Final Scene, or, I don't know, Shadow Ranch?
Yes. Let me put it this way. I prefer those games where time seems to pass and you need time to pass or different times of day to happen in order for things to happen than the ones where it just feel like one day. The only game that I like the fact that it's one day because it ups the ante is Labyrinth of Lies.
Ooh.
It feels like you only have hours to figure it out, and you, as you play, like that feeling stays with that urgency.
Yeah.
There are other games where I wish they indicated more that time passed, like Silent Spy. It would be nice if you felt like you had days to do.
Right, yeah, because like with that one, it's just kind of so confusing. You're like, is it nighttime now? Like, I feel like I've been playing for hours, you know? Like that one.
Yeah.
I
especially with like packages being sent and people going places, and that's the hardest thing when a package is being sent.
Yeah.
It makes it very difficult for me to not lose that suspension of disbelief.
It's rough. Like the only one that doesn't have like a set like time that I feel like is actually acceptable is Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, because with the train moving, you know that you're going somewhere, you know that time is passing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a good game to point to. Yeah. And trains move slowly. Like even when they move quickly, they're moving slowly. So if you take a while.
They did us a favor in that one because it's like nighttime, you can tell, and then or maybe early morning, we're not sure. It's dark when you look out the windows. But then when she like finishes up all her tasks on the train and you make it to Copper Gorge, the things that they show out the windows are during broad daylight. So you're like, oh, time has passed.
Yes, and they're not moving, the light isn't changing. It all of a sudden it makes the environment feel different.
Right, so like, it could be like maybe it was early morning. Maybe they left the train station at like 4 a.m. So the first 2 hours of her trip were completely dark, and now all of a sudden it's light out. Or perhaps it was nighttime. She finishes everything. They're like, well, we gotta wait until we get to Copper Gorge. She goes to sleep. She wakes up. Here's the daylight. Like it could be any of that. It truly could be. We don't need to know. All we know is that time has passed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, which I like. I like that. I like I'm able to see logically that things are running like the real world should.
What's on in the chat?
I have no idea.
Liv just said sorry in all caps.
I'm not really sure what's going on.
He insulted Morgan. Maybe we should let them figure that out.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Well, we're gonna just keep chatting over here.
We're just gonna plug away.
What's your favorite soundtrack of any game series?
Any game series, like all of them.
Any.
Oh, okay, that helps because. So you guys picked the worst person to ask favorites from because I have favorites for different reasons, and I don't have like one favorite.
Just tell us all the things.
All of the things. Okay, I love the Siberia soundtrack. It is so excellently built, and it has a great theme that goes through it the whole game. Games 1 and 2 are the only ones I have played as a disclaimer, but they just feel so cohesive, even if the music is slightly different. So the scoring on that was excellent. The Sherlock Holmes games, especially Nemesis, they utilize actual classical music. So you have actual classical pieces, I think performed by the London Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, that's so excellent. Yeah.
I'm not entirely certain, but it's beautiful and it's round, and anytime I go into Sherlock's home and I hear the same melody motif, and I can't sing right now, I would whistle it, but I don't know what this microphone would do, so I'm not going to do that. I will just link it in my stories, I guess. Yes. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful piece. My sister has learned how to play that one, and anytime I hear her play it, I'm just transported back to 1890.
What does she play?
Violin.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's amazing.
She's amazing.
She sounds amazing. Oh my goodness.
I love you, Schweister. You're probably not watching, but if you do.
Amazing. Also, Squid popped in to say hello, and I just want to let you know, even though you have missed a little bit of the beginning, your questions haven't popped up yet. And
I'm so pretty Squid, you have no idea.
Oh, her questions are good.
That's why.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for her. Okay, so
here we go.
What's your favorite Hotchkiss quote? I know you just said don't ask me favorites, but
Hotchkiss quotes. Let me think. I mean, Hotchkiss to Earth, come in Earth is always excellent, but anytime she misquotes Nancy's name is just chef's kiss.
Oh, I'll have a nice fat tip for you next time, Candy.
Yes, and I've been going through all of the game audio files from the 3 games she's featured in, and there's so much there, and there's even some that she'll say, but there's 2 versions of it. And you might hear a different version. So if my inflection is wrong on a certain quote, I'm just gonna say I'm going with one of the versions.
If you think I'm wrong, I'm not.
If you think I'm wrong, I'm not. But I am. I will admit, I'm probably not doing her justice.
Amazing.
Although, goals. If I could voice Hotchkiss ever in a game, Squid, you have no power over that, but you've heard me say it.
I mean, stranger things have happened. Amazing.
Cannot hear me?
Oh, yes, I can absolutely. Hold on. She asked if I could raise... Oops, not mute the music. You guys, yeah. I got you. Don't you worry. Yeah, here we go. All right.
I have no control over that. I had all my technical problems earlier.
That is all me. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not at home, so I'm not using my brand new amazing sound equipment that I just got and I used once. So that will be back tomorrow, but not tonight. Yeah, I'm sorry, Shannon. I will speak up. I also have a sleeping baby like about 20 feet from me, so...
Squid said noted. Noted. I am now going to be the future voice of Hotchkiss. Just kidding. If I take over Hotchkiss's job, I would be heartbroken. She's beautiful and excellent and amazing. So.
I know. She is amazing. All right, so...
But if she doesn't come back, I'll send in my tape.
There you go. Yeah. Maybe you could just voice somebody.
Honestly, that would be fun.
That would be really fun.
Mr. Hotchkiss said I need to get paid for doing all of this Nancy Drew stuff. So if Her Interactive's hiring, help.
Well, just you wait, because that comes up in a future question. Anyway,
so boy.
Do you have a favorite Nancy Drew GIF that you've made?
Probably Carter running back and forth going activate Banshee mode.
This is such a good one.
Or
it's like everyone's favorite.
I love that one. They're all really fun. That one just makes me giggle every single time. I have to say Gorf on Fire, though I don't utilize it very often, is the reason I did all of that.
Nice.
So thanks to Gorf for being a real one. And Shannon for asking.
Amazing. Thank you, Gorf.
Thank you, Gorf.
So do you have a favorite dance that you've performed? Like, I know, for the people who don't know her very well, she performs, she dances, she does amazing things. You can explain things better. It's your life.
I have been a professional giraffe. Not professional, I didn't get paid.
That's my favorite.
I've been an amateur giraffe. And in terms of roles, normally when I'm dancing, I do more corps de ballet level stuff, so I'm with a group. That means multiple, many parts, not necessarily soloist parts. Mm-hmm. But my favorite, I did a beautiful piece this summer that was absolutely lovely. A professional came and taught it to us at my home studio. And it was just gorgeous. I want to dance that for the rest of my life. It was beautiful. There's no storyline to the piece. It's very, very modern. But the flow to it and the way the movement goes, it's soft and then it's sharp and it flows into the next step. And it was just so much fun to learn. But the most fun role, it was so challenging this past year. We did the story of Genesis as a ballet. Wow. From the creation of the world all the way through Joseph. Condensed. We did it in 6 parts. Mm-hmm. Creation, that whole section up until Adam and Eve left the garden. And Joseph's storyline were the longest sections with everything in between just shortened and you get the highlights. Mm-hmm. But we touched on when Lucifer falls. Mm. And so when he falls, 1/3 of the angels, scripturally, they fall with him.
Yeah.
And so I got to play one of the angels that fell. That's and it cool. It was the sweetest group of girls. They were the most lovely people. They were all so sweet and wonderful and supportive. So the fact that we got to play these characters that went through all of this pain and intense emotion and energy was very fascinating. It's not something I get to do very often. I would love to be a villain in a future role if I get a chance to.
That would be cool.
But that dance, just because it was so different, is probably my favorite one that I've done.
That's so fun. Wow. That show also sounds amazing. I would have loved to have seen that.
It was 2.5 hours long. It was something.
I bet. I bet that was really special though. Like that sounds like you would leave a changed person, you know?
Definitely. Yeah. It is it is something I've never seen before, and I don't know if I would ever be able to see it again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if, I think it was just that time and that place where it worked.
That's amazing. I love that. All right, next question. You're going to get a kick out of this one. How many drumsticks do you think you could actually eat in one sitting?
Do I think, or have I actually? I have actually, as far as memory serves, and this was when I was a teenager, I think I ate probably about 5 drumsticks in one sitting.
Okay.
If I knew I was supposed to eat just drumsticks, I might make it to 10. Maybe. Who knows? Is this a challenge? I feel challenged.
On the next Spilling the Tea with Susie, we'll bring her back on, and she's going to eat 10 drumsticks.
Because I want to see that, yeah.
I don't think I could do that many.
I'm a food motivated person. I will do anything for food.
I mean, same. I will, if I don't have like 3 meals and like 2 to 3 snacks every day, I will literally perish. So like I'm very, very food oriented. So I agree. Anyway, so when did you get into graphic design?
I sort of would play around with things as a kid. Just my brother would play Sims 2. I have several siblings. And he figured out how to utilize GIMP, which is an open source software that if you got into the texture packs correctly, you could make your own clothes, or you could modify something and like change the colors and whatever, and then you just save it in the files. So I messed around with that, wasn't very good at it, didn't have the patience for it. And then over the past 5 years, there have been several different projects that I've been involved in where no one else had any sort of experience at all with graphic design and editing things, and so I would just offer to help get things started. And that's how my video editing skills have improved. I mean, we would do home movies as kids, and that was my favorite part. I didn't want to be in front of the camera, I wanted to edit it. And so editing video, creating graphics, that's where I got it from. So I'm very self-taught. I don't have any understanding of theory or how things work. So that's why I put the disclaimers on, as you call it, the cruise letter, because I do not design things. I just throw things together, and if it looks okay, I'll post it.
Perfect.
Apparently I don't spell check them either. Thanks, Morgan.
Morgan, don't tell her if there's typos.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know anymore.
Oh my gosh, no, you can send them to me and I will spell check them for you. I used to check my friends' papers in college for fun. Like,
see, that's the thing. I did do review and editing for a blog for a while. Yes, so I am fully hyper aware of how grammar and spelling work. I love vocabulary. It's my favorite thing to learn how things are spelled and how they function in a sentence. But apparently I don't do that as Hotchkiss. And you know what? I'm okay with that.
It's okay. I mean, she has publishers with like editors to do that for her. So
that's true. Although she's enough of a powerhouse, I wonder if she would do most of it herself.
She probably would, let's be real.
Yeah.
She's such a powerhouse.
Yes.
All right. So next question. If you had a parrot like Lulu, what would you teach it to say?
I mean, everything that Lulu says, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably some swear words, because why not? And then, you know, I just point the finger over at Mr. Hotchkiss and be like, I would never. Why would I?
Amazing. Morgan says, I wonder who asked that. I wonder.
Yes, interesting.
Yeah, I know what my answer would be. And I actually had this conversation with Hugh not too long ago about parrots and what we would teach them to say, because I used to pet sit a parrot and I was really good. I didn't teach my neighbor's parrot anything dirty. So good. Liv says she did something bad. Hold on, I made her disappear. What?
Liv.
What did you do?
Bestie.
Okay, well, while we wait for her to tell us what she did, let's get ask you another question. Can you tell us about your next Nancy Drew project, or is that like, would you be breaking NDA?
Ooh. Okay. Yes and no. I can tell you about one of them.
Okay.
And I can... It's not necessarily NDA. I'm working with someone on a project currently, right now. It is probably about 75% finished.
Wait, is it somebody that we know?
Wouldn't that be breaking NDA, though?
You could just tell us if it's somebody in the Clue Crew.
It is my buddy Southern Sleuthy. It's going to be great.
Oh.
She's excellent. You guys will love it. And
I know
yes.
I'm going to love it because I love her and I love you and I love everything you guys do separately. So something that you guys do together is going to be amazing.
It's been in the works for 2 months. There have been several hiccups, including the fact that I lost my voice this past week.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
she lost her voice about a month ago. So we're just, we're working through that.
Yeah, you know what? Take your time, and we will be super excited when it comes.
I am so stoked for this. You guys will love it. I think it is going to be a lovely time.
I'm so excited.
I actually have another project that I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. It's fine.
If it comes to
mind.
Yeah. If it comes back to you, then we'll talk about it.
Exactly.
But similarly, what part of content creating do you enjoy the most?
Making videos.
Yeah.
Like coming up with something really fun and trying to see if I can make what is in my brain a reality. I learned so much about editing and not necessarily animating, but really getting into the deep little details and trying to make something work. So, and sometimes it doesn't work. So for example, with Dumb Ways to Die, when I tried to make that, what I really wanted to have, and I worked on it for about 3 days, but it didn't work, was like a little karaoke ball that would hop over the lyrics as it went. Yeah. And I had a drumstick that I had set up for it, and it would have been a keyframe, so I would have had to go frame by frame and make it hop. And each frame had to be meticulously following the arc, and I just don't have that level of editing ability.
Yeah, that.
And I was like, you know what? Everything else I am happy with, and if I put this in and force myself to do it, not only would I delay this project by another week, which I had already done by like 2 weeks, I would have felt so unhappy with the results looking at it a month later.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Yeah. So I figured it was better to just pull out that and then save that for a future thing. If I do learn how to make it, I'll utilize it later.
So if we ever see that in the future, we can all get like collectively excited with you that you like
celebrate with me. Have a drumstick. There's one on your video.
So good. Oh my gosh. Alright, so if you had to join Nancy on one of her mysteries in real life, which one would you choose?
Phantom of Venice is I would love to go to Venice, and there's like you just walk everywhere and explore everything and get to, maybe break into buildings and do some sleuthy shenanigans, tomfoolery, disguising yourself as someone potentially for those who don't know, playing Scopa. I love playing Scopa.
Play Scopa.
I lose
the leader
every time.
of the mob, basically.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Playing Scopa with a syndicate leader, it's just a great idea.
Let's go.
Yeah, that is one of the ones I definitely get very drawn into.
Yeah.
Hotchkiss should... Bestie. No.
Wait, what's going on?
Liv sent me some shenanigans.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to see what they are.
Yeah, go check that out. All right.
What's the next question?
If someone new wants to play a Nancy Drew game, which one do you recommend to them?
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
And I have a formula. If they are a kid, I will start with Shadow Ranch.
Yeah.
Pretty much any time. And I have with the kids I've nannied. I've done that with friends' kids. With like nieces, nephews, because that game has fewer spooky factors. It has a very upbeat soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It is bright. It is during the day. There's no, I mean, yes, there's a supposed phantom horse, but there's no ghosts necessarily. You don't, like, Ghost of Thornton Hall is a beautiful game, but I will never start a child on it because when I was 4, my brothers played Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None by the Adventure Company. And I was in the room and I got to watch them play. And I remembered the opening theme music and the main menu, which is the manor on a cliffside with a transparent noose swinging back and forth.
Love that.
Yeah. And so that was stuck in my brain. And I'm like, I'm never doing that to a kid intentionally. So Shadow Ranch is a good one to start kids on. But if you are someone who isn't necessarily a computer game player, and you're not necessarily someone that's familiar with Nancy Drew, Secret of the Old Clock is actually a pretty good one to start with.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, not necessarily because it's Secret of the Old Clock Original Mystery, but because you go back in time, it's a little more forgiving on older graphics. You know, you don't get that dated feeling.
Yeah.
And there's Mr. Hotchkiss loves cars. I do too. So the car factor of that, it's a very well-built mystery.
It is, yeah.
That's a good one to start people on.
I think that one doesn't get enough love.
Yes.
That's
I
hot
agree.
take of the night. I think that Secret of the Old Clock gets, like, slept on more than any other game.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful one.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that game. So, wow, this is a really uncomfy chair. So I'm going to be moving around a lot tonight. So what did Liv send you?
A receipt. For my Streamlabs merch.
Oh, very nice. Very, very
She did a thing.
Very
Bestie.
nice. I love it. Can you, or I guess, do you have a next GIF creation that you're going to make?
Actually, why don't we put it to a vote in the chat? How's that sound?
Yes, let's go.
I have a running list.
Okay.
I will give you guys 3 options, and you can pick from them.
Perfect.
All right. So, the first one is the Ethel jump scare.
Oh, yes.
The next one is the tackle from Stay Tuned for Danger.
Mm-hmm.
And on that, do you guys feel, because that is a very big spoiler, is that one that should not be done?
Ooh. Mm.
That is the question. Because it is a fairly large spoiler, but it is one of the funniest little animations in all of the games.
It really is.
So there's those 2. I already did that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the Big Island Mike eating a snow cone.
Oh my god. That's my vote.
Alright, we'll see what everyone else says. It's between the Ethel jump scare, the tackle from Stay Tuned for Danger, or Big Island Mike eating a snow cone.
Oh my gosh, those are so good. Alright, y'all sound off in the chat and
Yes,
we will take
let us know.
votes. Yeah. Shannon says that's hard because it's literally the best thing I've ever seen in a game. Liv has never played Stay Tuned for Danger, so she doesn't know what you're talking about. Josh wants the Ethel jump scare. Liv wants Big Island Mike. Casey wants Mike. Okay. All right.
So far, I'm intrigued. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys. Oh, Sleuthy says Ethel. She doesn't remember anything about Stay Tuned for Danger, so she doesn't want spoilers. Really? You don't remember anything? Really? You don't remember anything? Really? Okay. Shannon says I would do the tackle, but it's too spoilery, so she votes for Ethel. Big Island Mike is so cursed, I love it. That's why I want that.
It's the cursed bucket hat, but as a gift.
I need it. I need it. Even if you don't make it this time, I think I need it in the future.
It's on the docket. I will make all of these. I just want to know what you guys want next.
So good. So good. So good. Okay. If you could collaborate with someone outside of the Clue crew, who would it be?
Oh, it depends on what I'm collaborating on. That's the problem.
I mean, is there anybody who you just like would love to work with on anything? Like you like this, somebody pops to your mind immediately, like, wow, that would be cool to work with them.
Yes, it is completely not Hotchkiss related.
That's fine.
I would love to be a part of the her name is Bogey. She's on All Girls Garage, which is I think it's on Motor Trend. It's a show. It's an all girls shop, so they work on cars. And she has a school in Arizona, and what they do is they do an all-female build, and they bring it to FEMA, which is this huge car show, like very elite.
Oh, I know FEMA.
Yeah. You would know. And basically, anyone with any experience level all over the country can come, and for however long they can work on it, they can work on it. So if I want to learn how to work on paint, or if I'm more inclined to the actual, like, putting the engine together or diagnosing stuff on the engine or just prep work, I could learn from so many different brilliant minds and then be able to present something.
Yeah.
That would be, I would love that. If I had the opportunity to do that, it would be amazing.
Is that something that you're gonna like put into works eventually?
Maybe. It's my goal right now is to focus on learning enough to be more comfortable and competent as a mechanic. I'm technically an apprentice mechanic. My Mr. Hotchkiss and I own a shop, and he's teaching me the tricks of the trade. The past couple weeks, I have been fixing things on a 2004 Toyota Camry because we were given the title to it. We're going to flip it and sell it.
Okay.
And it's all jobs that I would need to do regularly in the shop anyways. They are regular jobs that we would do, so it's good practice for me.
Yeah.
And he was just an advisory role, or if there was something that was just rusted in place and we needed somebody who knew how to utilize the impact gun a bit better, that would be him. So, yeah, but other than that, it was my job.
That's great.
And my goal from that is to eventually become ASE certified.
Oh, yeah.
Which means that I would get a nice little patch that I could put on my coveralls, and I could just tell people, yes, I do in fact know what I'm doing. Thank you.
That would be so good.
That will take a couple years anyways. I would need several years of experience before I could even take the ASE certification exam and all that stuff. But it is on my bucket list.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. I really can't let Mr. Susie hear you talking right now because he wants me to work on my own car so much, and I just don't know what I'm doing. And when he talks to me, my like eyes kind of glaze over, and I'm like, "What are you saying? Like, what? What are you saying? What?" So I don't know.
I went from never changing the oil in my vehicle ever. Didn't even like. I might have topped it off once to when Mr. Hotchkiss and I first started dating, and I told him, hey, I checked the oil level on my car for the first time in 6 months. It's pretty good. He's like, check. What do you mean? I'm like, well, I, pulled out the dipstick and I looked, and it was like the level hadn't gone down. That's great, right? And he's like, have you ever changed the oil? And I said, no. We hadn't even met in person then. When we first met in person, he did an oil change on my car and then taught me how to do it. And from that point on, I have done the oil changes on my vehicle.
Wow. I have so much respect for that. Like,
he has just taken me and gone, you know what? You should learn this. And that's how we do things.
John wants me to do a series on my YouTube channel where he teaches me how to do car stuff. And I think it's probably going to happen.
Yes.
Just because like that content sounds great. And I'm going to have to buy an outfit for it because I don't have any clothes that I want to get dirty.
Oh, get yourself a pair of cheap utility coveralls in an organic material, tencel, cotton, something like that. You don't want polyester because fire and melting. Yeah. But honestly, you don't need anything super expensive. Yeah. Just something that
I can get oil on and not worry.
Oil, transmission fluid, and if you do, before you stick it in the wash, take Dawn dish soap and a toothbrush and scrub a circle into the stain and then wash it cold. Okay. And then keep washing it until the stain comes out and then throw it in the dryer and you won't have any permanent stains. Okay. I don't do it all the time, but it works.
Nice. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. As far as like car knowledge goes, I can drive manual.
Excellent. Everyone should learn. It is so much fun.
It is kind of fun. Yeah, I never do it. Both of John's, well, actually, yeah, all three of John's cars are manual. My two are automatic because I, like, originally drove automatic, obviously. I learned on automatic. And then he got me a stick Forester that was supposed to be like my mom car. And I was like, I don't want to drive manual every day with a brand new newborn baby. It just sounded too stressful for me. So we flipped the Forester, and he got me another automatic wagon, a Saab. So
nice.
Yeah, so I don't drive manual right now, but I like knowing that if I had to, I could.
It is an excellent skill to have on hand. You never know when you will be required to drive a vehicle that is a manual. Yeah. Especially if you ever go to Europe. So many people drive manuals over there. It's changed slightly, but I mean, everything over there is a manual from what I know.
Do you know, I used to work at a Honda dealership, and if a manual car ever came in, like, there were technicians who didn't know how to drive stick. And I was like...
It's a different world we live in now than what it once was.
It's funny. Anyway, so that was a big tangent. Let's see
we will teach Sleuthie, I promise. Maybe not when I see you next, but sometime I will teach you how to drive a manual.
Nice. It's a good skill to have.
Yes, I agree.
Leave off. Okay, so in any Nancy Drew game, which character do you think would Professor Hotchkiss be best friends with?
Best friends, probably Hilda Swenson.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the two of them would get along so well.
Yeah.
So well.
And similarly, who do you think they would be, or she would be, an enemy with?
She would probably be an enemy towards somebody like... Oh, I lost the name. I was going to say somebody like Abdullah, who's very inflated and scared of people knowing more than he does, because he definitely brushes that aside when any of that happens. But he is December on her Men of Archaeology calendar, so that is unfortunate. You know, it might be an unrequited crush, but she is also aware of his inflated ego, so she might actually poke at him on purpose.
And it's not like she added him just for his face. Like, she knows who he is. Yeah.
Feeling if that calendar were to actually exist, I have a feeling that the people on it wouldn't necessarily be all, like, super attractive. They'd just be people she really respects for their intellect and their prowess in archaeology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think
that's...
Professor Hotchkiss doesn't exactly do these things because she has the hots for the guys. I think she just respects, like, intellect.
Yes. I mean, she didn't give one whit about Nancy until Nancy proved herself as a person who could rise to the challenge. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how things go there.
Yeah. Morgan says Tino.
Honestly, I think she would despise Tino, but I despise Tino.
Everyone despises Tino.
He is one of those characters that I do feel a little bad for. You know, like that character in a TV show that always has the bad things happen, even though, like, it looks like something good's going to happen, and you just feel sad for that. Mm-hmm. But then they go and do that thing again, and they're like, well, this is why I cheated through Icicle Creek Lodge, so I wouldn't have to see you or speak to you. I have may or may not have done that.
I believe it. No, I don't know if you saw my my stream with my husband where we played Last Train, but he just, like, would walk into the car with Tino and he would yell no, and he would walk back out. And I was so proud. Anyway, so okay, this is a really fun one. Hotchkiss versus Eustacia and Dropoff versus Prudence Rutherford. Who's winning the fight?
Eustacia. She's been alive for centuries. Yeah, I mean, Hotchkiss might be a solid contender. I think Prudence would be out as soon as, like, her bunny ears got twisted.
Yeah.
Or her, like, one of her galoshes fell off. But Hotchkiss would give us... Yes, she does. Maybe not in the fall, then.
Yeah, don't talk to her in the fall, however. Any other season, you can take her on.
And we never fight Prince Rutherford in the fall. We are the pirates who don't do anything.
In the fall.
In the fall, specifically.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I can agree with that. She's probably really scrappy. Alright. You say she is, sorry.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. So this is a fun question. If you could work at Her Interactive, what could you do?
Ooh, that would be fun.
What would your role be?
I would probably love to be in the marketing team making stuff to share with people.
Yeah, you would be good at that.
I would have so much fun doing that. Again, Mr. Hotchkiss said I should get paid for this by Her Interactive.
Right?
But
Shouldn't
that would be a lot of
fun. At least get our photos in the game. Come on.
Like, new goal. ND35, we have a gallery wall of the Clue Crew.
No, but really though, I think, hey Squid, are you here? I think that in the next game that all of us really loud people in the Clue Crew should have our photos in the game. And when I say loud people, I think you know who I mean. Yeah. That's really fun. You would be really good at that.
It would be fun. I would love to learn more of the software development side of things. Yeah. If I were to be involved in a gaming company, that would be really cool to learn. And I'd love to have the opportunity to learn it. I don't think CAD and design would be my strong suit, though.
Yeah.
I would be more on the side of making something to share with people currently that couldn't, like, if something's wrong with it, it doesn't affect the end product. Mm-hmm. Which is why marketing would be good. Like, if I have a spelling mistake, which I am known to do, it wouldn't be the end-all be-all. But if I did something wrong in coding or in designing a model and no one caught it, mm-hmm. I didn't catch it, that could affect the gameplay for people, and I would never want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, voice acting would be fun.
Voice acting would be so fun.
Yes.
I know. I think I might have an opportunity to do that at some point for somebody else.
That's exciting.
I'm really excited about that. Not yet. I said not yet, but maybe in the future, and I think that would be really, really fun. Morgan, real quick, Squid stepped out to dinner, but I'm supposed to let you know when I'm at her questions. I'm not at her questions yet, so she has a few minutes for sure, but I'll let you know when I'm about to get to her questions. Okay, so where did we leave off? What type of music do you think that Ned Nickerson would be into?
Mm-hmm. I think Ned would be a nice little lo-fi boy.
Oh, yeah.
Who loves lo-fi based off of soundtracks, like Skyrim lo-fi, or Lord of the Rings lo-fi, or lo-fi based off the Mario, like, Nintendo games. I think that's the type of lo-fi he would like.
I could see that, yeah.
And he'd probably keep sending links of it to, like, the group chat and go, guys, I just found a really, really good one. And then, everyone would just humor him, but then some of them would secretly listen and be like, okay, this is good. This is like a good work too.
Like George would actually be into it, but wouldn't want you to know.
Yes. Bess would heart all of them, probably save them to a playlist she never listens to.
And Nancy would never even read the message.
God, okay.
Kelly says that's spot on for Ned. OMG. Yes, I know. So good. And if you could have one thing from any of the Nancy Drew games, what would you choose?
Oh, a physical thing from the games. Mm-hmm. There are several pieces of furniture I have my eye on.
Oh,
okay, I have to figure out which game it's in, but there's this beautiful armchair.
That could be literally any game.
I know. There are, like, so many cozy armchairs. Jetpack, you should do, like, an armchair ambience video. I don't know which game it is, but another thing that would be really fun to have is Soren's sweater.
Mm. Did you see Squid's message earlier that she has a sweater like his? And she's going to wear it when she goes to Iceland next week.
That would be... Oh, that's perfect. She should get an actual Icelandic sweater. I mean, they're expensive, but there's a reason they're so unique.
Because they're amazing, yeah. So...
Well, and the sheep there haven't been, like, crossbred with any other breeds of sheep for several hundred years.
Yeah.
So they are completely unique to Iceland.
Yeah, which is super cool. Iceland is
Right?
such a cool place. I've never been, but it would be really cool to visit.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, we should do like a Clue Crew trip to
That's-
like Nancy Drew locations.
Yes, that sounds like fun.
That would be really expensive.
For sure. We need to be
Casey-
sponsored by somebody.
I know. Casey wants to know if it's Alexi's or the one in Cat. The armchair.
So I like Alexi's, but it doesn't look as comfortable.
Mm-mm.
But anything from Alexi's store, but specifically the green vase, that's brilliant.
Okay.
That vase is so cool.
It was really cool. I can see why he was upset.
I found the animation of it falling in the game files the other day, and I looked at that like, this is so sad.
Oh, that's so sad. So if Nancy didn't live in River Heights, where do you think she would fit best?
My first inclination is to say a big city because there's so much to do, but I think she really does fit in a small town where you know everyone and you're safe. Like, this is a place that she knows.
Yeah.
This is comfortable. Even if she's not always there, even if she's not a homebody, like, she can trust that this place is going to be that place when she returns, if that makes sense. So any small town that has that feeling that River Heights does. I don't think she'd ever be able to live in the big city for long, much as she'd like it.
Probably not.
It's just a personal take, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't see her as a city Nancy.
Casey, I think the chair is, I think it's green. It might be green.
I'm trying to think of all the games that have green armchairs.
I know.
I feel like
I know
there's one in my head, but I'm not seeing where it is.
There's one in Message in a Haunted Mansion. The ones in Waverly Academy are blue.
Yeah.
The one Renata is in is red.
We'll think of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's just so cozy.
What are 3 of your favorite books?
So I love Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell, or North and South. She was a contemporary of Charles Dickens, so her books were published in periodicals in the 1900s, in his newspaper. She's a very spunky person. And so, like, Wives and Daughters is a fun book. It was her last novel. And she never completed it because she took her sweet time with it because they forced her to rush through North and South.
Oh.
So she's like, I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to take my time with this one. And she did. And then she passed away. So there's a note from the editor at the end where they're like, this would have been Mrs. Gaskell's wishes, but we didn't feel like we had the right to finish her book for her because we couldn't do it justice. So we'll tell you what she wanted to do and leave whatever isn't written down up to you. And I think that's a really cool way to handle it. Yeah, it was really a very respectful way to honor her writing prowess as an author.
Yeah, because, I've read books where the author passed away before finishing and somebody else took over like the reins and finished the book for them, and you could tell the difference. And like, not that that was a bad thing, like it was good, but it just wasn't like the level that you were used to when you were expecting the original author, So that's nice that they like left it up to you.
And I think it worked well with the way they formulated that.
Yeah.
Another book I really love is We Were the Lucky Ones, and I cannot off the top of my head remember the author's name, but it is, aside from them changing one of the characters' names because her and her sister-in-law had the same name, so to keep it less confusing, it is a very factual representation of what happened to a Jewish family in Poland that's all of them survived the Holocaust.
Wow.
So it's called We Were the Lucky Ones because we all survived. And the stories in that are heart-wrenching, but it is so eye-opening to what the dynamic was for people back then. For the people that were... one of the siblings was in France when everything happened. He was trying to get home for Sabbat, and he didn't make it before all of the barricades and borders closed. So he ended up serving in the French military until it was revealed that he was Jewish. He ended up moving to Brazil. Eventually, the entire family moved there. But someone else survived massacres. Like, it's so brutal what went down in World War II.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate how this book doesn't sugarcoat the fact that there is loss and not everyone made it, but that there were some lucky ones who, despite what they went through, they all survived. And I'm like, that's so encouraging to read about, but it's very eye-opening to what they experienced, and I appreciate how the author told it. And it just came about, she was doing a school research paper on family history, and she had no idea. And then her mom was like, well, maybe you should talk to your aunt, who was one of the survivors. She was 3 when everything started.
Oh, wow.
And so she was able to glean all of this family history and share that. And
that's incredible.
I know, it's so beautiful. So I really appreciate that book. So if you ever have a chance to read it, it's called We Were the Lucky Ones. The cover has yellow on it. I can't remember the author's name, and I lent it to somebody, and I don't know who.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm sure we'll all find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third book, I love the Thursday Next series by Jasper Fforde. He writes in alternate reality sci-fi, so like it's just, he crafts it very well. You can tell he's using his imagination, and as an author who doesn't resort to typical cliches and tropes in order to build his world, I find that very refreshing. And he just commits to it. It is so fully believable because it's built, and he's not self-conscious about it as he writes about it. And you can feel it. So the whole series is good. I think the first book is The Eyre Affair, like Jane Eyre. I will warn, the books are interactive. So like the footnotes are a part of like the dialogue between some characters.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. It is so much fun.
That is so cool. I'm sorry, I am definitely paying attention, but something is buzzing at the window. So I'm just like, what is that? Anyway, so that sounds really good. Cool. Morgan, if you're here, I am 2 questions away from Sydney's question, so tell her to hurry up. All right. So I have to laugh at this one. So what's the best car ever made, and why is it a 2008 Mitsubishi Eclipse? Joking, but please ask.
Oh, no.
So I don't know the context here, but I do know those cars, and I'm concerned.
I'm not the biggest fan of Mitsubishi cars. There are plenty of Japanese cars out there that are excellent, and I will highly recommend. CRV, like Honda CRVs, honestly, aside from there's an issue that I think they're recalling on some of the later like 2010s, like late mid 2010s models.
There's always a recall going
on. This one is definitely safety critical. So it's something to do with like a friend of mine was driving on the highway, just got on the on-ramp, and she had I'm not going to say what component it was because I can't correctly remember, but it was rear suspension driver side. Something just went because it rusted out, and like it could have been a catastrophe.
Yeah.
She was fine. She was okay. But I think because she reported that and like filed that, people are starting to realize that is something to keep an eye on. Yeah. So,
Honda makes a good car. I used to work for them, and I liked their stuff. But Mitsubishi, not as much.
I haven't. We've had one particular Mitsubishi vehicle in our shop, and the problems we've had with that weren't necessarily a total pain. Like, I would rather do that than a Ford Explorer timing chain. But it's not my favorite make of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I know who asked the question, and I am so sorry for answering that one.
Does she drive that?
Maybe? I'm not sure.
Okay,
So
I told her she said she wasn't sure if she was going to make the live to explain. And I was like, well, just like message me the details and I can explain for you like on the live. Well, she never did. So I was like, does she drive it? Just like, is this your least favorite car in the world? Like, what is the context here? I don't know.
I am curious to find out what the context is for that.
Yeah, seriously. I told my husband, and he went on a long rant about how bad they are and why, and it was really entertaining. So
yeah, no, I've definitely been on the same side as you on those rants on certain car makes and models. Yeah. So
It's a good time. Oh no, Kelly, she says me and my 2010 Honda Accord.
Your Honda Accord should be fine. I think it's a specific CRV issue.
Yeah, you're fine. Don't you worry. Honda makes a good car.
They do, and from what I've seen, Toyota especially seems to still care about the customer. Most modern car manufacturers, and I can say this because Mr. Hotchkiss used to work for an OEM. He worked for one of the car companies in the States. They care about their shareholders and the bottom line sometimes, a lot of times, and not necessarily about making things service-friendly from a mechanic's perspective or from making things accessible for their customers. Yeah. So it's very short-term profit, not long-term legacy. And there used to be companies that were very, very much prioritized that, and I think Toyota still does.
Yeah.
Other companies don't seem to be as much anymore, which is kind of unfortunate because we're all looking for something that'll last us. And if they're not prioritizing that themselves, they're missing out on what the market really wants.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so with you. Oh my goodness. I drive old cars for a reason.
Me too. None of my cars are younger than me. And I think all of them are older than Mr. Hotchkiss.
Yeah.
And there's a few years between us. So it's a good time.
I'm currently driving the newest car I've ever driven, and it's from the early 2000s. And that's like so new to me because like I drive cars from the 90s usually. Like
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my cars can vote. My cars can drink. Yeah.
Oh, no. That's how I'm going to phrase it from now on.
Now she's concerned.
Elizabeth, message me later and we'll talk shop on that. And I'll let you know what to look at. And if it's a problem, it is, but it probably won't be. This is the first time I've heard of it and I'm cautious about it, but normally I love CRV.
No, HS is correct. If it's a recall, they would have contacted you.
For sure.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have to pay. They would cover it because that's how recalls work. So.
And if there's ever an issue on your vehicle, check and see if there's a warranty. Because if there's a warranty, you can take it to a dealer and they will cover it. But if you let any other mechanic touch it, they might not honor the warranty. And there are certain car companies that are much more unfortunate in how they approach that than others.
Yeah, well, you have
but
to
it's always worth
like a certified like dealer of the brand that you drive in order to have the warranty.
If you drive a Honda CRV, you'll have to go to a Honda dealership or its equivalent. And so not necessarily somebody that specializes in Hondas or CRVs, because even though they know what they're doing, they might point you there anyways and go, I could do the work, but you could get it done for free at no cost to you if you go through the dealer.
Yeah.
And then if anything goes wrong, they have to fix that on their end too.
Honda crew in the chat, yes.
Always ask for an itemized invoice, guys. If you're not sure, if you go to a mechanic and you're just not sure about what they're saying to you, if they're not telling you what parts they're putting on, how much their labor is, what the labor would entail, it's probably worth it to get a second opinion if you can.
Absolutely.
And if you can't, I'm praying for you because I've been there and I get that.
Yeah, for sure. Casey, it is not that hard, I promise you. You can absolutely learn how to drive manual.
Yes, come visit me. Yeah. Well, I'll teach you.
Seriously.
You can learn how to drive in my old Bug, and it'll be fun, and you'll smile every single day you drive a manual because it's just fun.
Yes.
And statistically safer.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, John would just love to hang out with you and Mr. Hotchkiss because he also has an old Bug and just appreciates. All right, so Morgan, last question before Sydney's questions. Please tell her. Okay. If you had to pick one game to be your aesthetic, which would it be and why?
Waverly, for the dark academia vibes.
Those are good vibes.
I know. They are wonderful vibes. And there's a little bit of a Victorian, Edwardian feel to the building, so that makes me happy.
Yeah. Did you see Elizabeth's comment that just came in? She says, "Old bug, how old we talking? Is it sky blue with white wool tires? Because that's my dream car."
Mine is a 77 VW Beetle, and she is currently in bits and pieces because we were working on restoring her. She was drivable and she was fine, but I really wanted to change the interior and redo the paint job because previous owner wasn't it. Anyway, that is a long story.
That's okay. Oh my
but
gosh.
Yes, when she is done, she will have white wall tires with a 70s accurate olive green color that would hint to the 60s. So the goal for me is always to make it look like it could roll off the assembly lines that way. But we're going to do the chrome trims and little bits and pieces and maybe tuck a few things differently so that she looks like an older bug. But for those that know, they can appreciate that we didn't try to make fake that she was older than she is.
Good. Yeah, John would yell at you. He'd be like, "Why did you do that?"
I know. Well, Mr. Hotchkiss would yell at me, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, she's screaming right now. She says, "So cute." Yeah, that would be. Yeah, John's is a 66, and it's a really boring, sand color. I forget what it's actually called. But, yeah. Anyway, so Squid's back. All right. Time for Squid's questions. Are you ready? Are you mentally prepared? I'm kidding. They're not that bad. All right, so she says, "Hotchkiss, if you were writing another book on a historical figure from one of the games, who would it be and why?"
The games or just a historical figure in general? Go ahead, clarify. Because...
From the games.
Okay, from the games, a historical figure... I'm running through all the ones we've got. Bye, bestie! Sorry, Liv's leaving.
I saw. Bye, Liv. Have a good night.
So, I'm going through the ones that we have in the games. And I feel like Lizzie Applegate would have piqued her interest just a scotch.
Yeah.
But she tends more towards the European side of it.
So
I could picture her going to the castle in Captive Curse and writing about the Freiherr's daughter and all of that.
Yeah.
Or no. What am I saying? Noisette Tournade. She would write about Noisette Tournade.
She would. She totally would.
But French history, it would be perfect.
It would be perfect.
A misunderstood French heroine that people condemned, even though she was quite a hero in her day.
That's literally her shtick.
That's literally her shtick. Exactly.
I love it. Okay, next question from Squid is, if you could learn anything else about Game 34 besides dates, what would it be and why?
Is Hotchkiss in the game? I would love to know that. I would also love to know if there is going to be not necessarily a Marie Antoinette correlation, but her mother.
Mm-hmm. That would be really cool.
I would be fascinated by. Yeah. And Squid and I have read the same book on Marie Antoinette, so she knows who I'm talking about and all the fascinating stuff there.
Well, there you go, Squid. Make it happen. I know you have no say in that. Okay, this is my absolute favorite question of the night. Okay, just to let you know. Squid wants to know. If you could work with her for a day and ask anything about anything, what would it be?
Can I?
What?
Can I have a job? That's what I ask. No, I would love to understand the one piece of paper in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon that, granted, collages like that were normal. Camille could have done that, but it felt like it had a purpose because every other hotspot you click on has a purpose in that game.
That's true.
That's the only one that doesn't. The game also doesn't have an Easter egg, so I'm like, I just want to know.
That is such a good point. I've always written that one off because I took it as she was really, really bored. And she was just collaging for funsies. That's what I've always thought. But like,
and I found collages, but that's my problem with it. I am not satisfied with that answer, even though it is historically, canonically correct, and it would make sense. It's the one thing we can click on in the game that we just like has no purpose. Everything else has a purpose in that game.
She says, "Wait, which one?" Okay, so when you open the doll cabinet and you solve the doll puzzle, and then the drawer pops open, and you can get the 2 slugs. You can also look at a scrapbook page where she's collaged some bits and pieces of like Victorian looking people and flowers, I think. I don't remember exactly what it looks like right now. But it's just like a collage that she made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, squid the one in the... Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, if you could go to your boss and ask about that.
Even if there's no answer and you guys just gave me something that wasn't Camille was bored, I'm okay with that. I don't care if you make something up. You guys are the company. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, this is true. I mean, remember all the hotspots that meant nothing in the first couple of games. So, yeah, it would be interesting, Casey. I know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that is a fun one. I've just always thought that she was so super bored because, like, she's got the doll thing, she's got the embroidery thing, you know, like all that stuff. I've just saw it. Oh, she recognizes it now. You saw my reel, right? Where I was making fun of how bored she was. Yeah.
Yes, I did see that one. That was good.
Yeah. So
it is true. It does make sense. It's just not satisfying from a gameplay standpoint.
Absolutely. Yeah, I understand.
But I will not scratch that itch anymore. I'm letting it go. I'm leaving it be.
My hands of that.
I'm washing my hands of this.
Love it. All right, so that was the end of Squid's questions.
Okay.
Now
Thank you, Squid. Those are fun.
Right? Were those not the best? These have been good answers so far. Thank you.
True. Okay, glad I could deliver. Man, the performance anxiety on this was real.
Oh my gosh, no. I know. Everybody always tells me, man, I was so stressed to be on your show. And I'm like, man, I wanted this to be a chill hangout.
I mean, everything went wrong in the beginning.
I know. I was
all of the things went wrong. So I'm like, you know what? It's going to be fine.
I'm so sorry. No, after we got off with Hugh, the time that I did ours, he was literally shaking.
I will be shaking after this. Right now, I'm on a good little. I don't know what this is called.
Like a high.
Yeah. I will be shaking. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, Susie, I'm never gonna watch this one ever. That's because fine. I know if I do, I'm going to cringe the whole way through, and it's not going to be as fun as it is right now. I'm having fun.
Never watch my videos.
I watch your other videos. I just won't watch this one.
Thank you. That's great. I won't watch the stuff that I produce. Like I'll watch bits of it. I'll watch my reels. I'm always really proud of my reels, but like my like YouTube videos, I mean, sometimes I'll like scrub through and find a certain spot to like use for something, but like I never watch that stuff. Like I can't. If
there's something I want to double check, I'll watch it, but normally I avoid it because I'm like, I'm going to be too critical of it and I'll lose the joy of how much fun I had doing that if I did that to myself.
And I don't want to lose the fun, you know? Like I'm just doing this for fun. Obviously, I mean, you might be able to see I have a subscriber goal on the screen now because
I did notice that.
If y'all would subscribe to me, that would mean so much because then I could make money. So that would be really
great. Go do the subscribing thing, guys. Let her make money.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. As Jetpack said earlier, remember to like the live.
Thanks, guys. So, anyway, we have a couple more questions, and then we will let y'all go. What game would you want to play from the culprit's perspective?
Oh my gosh. Phantom of Venice. So much.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I cannot say anything about it without spoilers.
Yeah.
But Actually, there's something I can say, because from the beginning of the game, there's some sort of syndication group effort involved in it. Like, it's not just one person, even though there's just a phantom.
Yeah.
Because of that, I love the idea of switching perspective.
Ooh.
It is the perfect game to do that with, because you can switch perspective.
It would be so cool, because you have all those characters. Oh my goodness, that would be amazing.
Yeah. And even, I feel like I've played games, maybe the Dreamfall chapters, or the Dreamfall series, where you will play as multiple characters, and you'll get to a point where you talk to a character and have a conversation, and maybe it's already pre-sorted, like you don't have any choices for that section of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But then you play as the other character, and then you get to that same point. Mm-hmm. So, like, you see what the other character did to lead up to that. And I feel like Phantom of Venice would be so much fun for that.
So amazing. Oh my gosh. All right. Last question before our traveling question. So, okay. Are there any Nancy Drew quotes that you find yourself saying in real life?
Letters are cool and all, but they just make words. I mean, get the game letters, but numbers, on the other hand, get a few handfuls of those, and you can build a bridge or a spaceship, or find out the makeup of our genetic code, or they can make a neat picture. I know the whole thing. That's what I quote on a regular basis.
That's so good.
Also, remember niacin all the time.
Niacin. Every time I see the word niacin, I'm just like...
Anytime I see peanut butter or bread.
Yes. Every time I see bread.
Every time I see bread. Or I'm putting anything on something, I'm just going to go, remember, niacin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get your little niacin deficient butt over and buy you some whole wheat toast with peanut butter on it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the traveling question last week from Joanna was, what Nancy Drew characters do you relate to the most and the least?
Okay, so one of the ones I relate to the most is Ryan Kilpatrick from Deadly Device.
I can absolutely see that.
First of all, she's who I want to be when I grow up. Like, I want to have a motorcycle, and every time I see the one in the game, I can hear her go, "It's my sweet ride!" But it's not done yet. But I'm working on it, and that's my car currently.
Yeah.
So I relate to that. Her love of gummy bears, honestly.
So good.
She may have influenced this haircut just as coach.
I love it.
And thank you. Let's see. There's somebody that's always like dropping and breaking things too. Like every clumsy moment of every character I relate to. I walk into parked cars. I know they're there. I have walked nose first into parked vans and just, it's fine. Relate to the least? It's hard to say the people I relate to least, because I don't understand how they could be as manipulative as they are, and they are key plot points, even if they're not villains. Like, it's just... Tony Scolari, she's a politician in Alibi and Ashes. And the way she treats... Like, she acts super sweet to Bess when you act as Bess with her. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but if you rotate through the characters and have the conversation with George instead of with Bess, you'll get a different response. That's the whole point. And sometimes they'll freeze you out. Sometimes they'll give you, like, the same answer, but there'll be less condescension in their tone. When she talks to Beth, she's like, "Hey, kid, how you holding up?" But then kind of tries to isolate her from her friends a little bit. Like, you know, your friend Nancy is a horrible person. Why are you defending her? And I'm like, that just makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Somebody who is looking at somebody who they care about, because it's clear Tony cares about Bess.
Yeah. But
she is intentionally trying to make Bess feel like she doesn't know her own mind and doesn't know her own friend. And I'm like, that level of behavior is really uncomfortable for me. Makes me want to kind of take an ice cream scoop and like whack her upside the head with it.
But really though, like, I mean, I hate to say this, but she is a politician and she's like a career gaslighter.
They created her as a character in that game intentionally with those tropes in mind, with how they built her, and they did a really good job. I will say they did an excellent job making her, which makes the game more intriguing because, like, based on how everyone in the game interacts with you, you get really complex characters.
Yeah.
So Deirdre gives you a different persona from the get-go than you receive towards the end when you have more conversations with her.
Absolutely.
Alexei Markovic. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. He
so
also has that level of, like, you feel for him in the beginning. There's points where you question him throughout, and that's really fun. Brenda Carlton is the same way. And I'm like, they crafted these characters so well that you want it to be anybody but Nancy, but you also sympathize with each character to an extent.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tony is the only one that you don't necessarily sympathize with, but that's because they crafted her character so well.
Yeah.
But because they crafted her so well, she makes me very uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone in the chat is saying that they either hate her or that she is just not great.
She ain't it. She ain't it.
She just is not it. All right. So, what is your traveling question for my next guest, who we have seen tonight?
The next guest, who was the guest tonight? All right. What is your go-to? If you're playing a game, this is the moment where you share a fact you know. So, like, as an example, in Lord of the Rings, when gosh, I'm blanking on his name, and I'm so embarrassed. I hope Tori's not here.
I don't think
Aragorn.
Uh-huh.
When he kicks the helmet, and it was like a real helmet, and he broke his toe, and he screamed, and everyone's like, "Did you know?" Anytime they watch it, like, that's what I want to know. What is your "did you know" moment when you play a game with someone? Whether it's an insider fact or, like, fun Easter egg that references a previous game or a future game, like, what is it? What's your go-to?
From the Nancy Drew games?
Yes.
Okay. Our next guest is Ricky of Nancy Drew Crafts, or ND Crafts rather, ND Crafts 23. She is also a YouTuber / streamer / content creator, so she's really super cool. And she's coming on next week, so you'll have to join us. Oh, hey, Sammy. Nice to see you. All right,
Sammy.
writing down this question. Awesome. Thank you very much. So it just wouldn't be Spilling the Tea with Susie if we didn't play FMK. So let's play FMK. All right. So I'm going to move my mouse. Your face is going to disappear for a moment. I so super apologize, you guys, but I did not anticipate that I would have to do it this way tonight, so I'm sorry. All
Fine.
right. All right.
Hotchkiss out for the moment.
Let's get our 3 people. Which wheel do you want? Do you want the wheel with every Nancy Drew character, or with the men, or with the women?
Every Nancy Drew character.
Okay. Let's spin it. Oh wait, I forgot to share my screen.
Everyone's like, yes, the favorite part.
Yes.
I'm honored to be a part of this game.
It's so good. This wheel takes forever. Also, my internet isn't super great here, so everything is slow and laggy and choppy tonight. Jake Hurley. Okay. So our first person is the amazing Jake Hurley. And our second person is Alexei Markovic. Oh my gosh. Speak of the devil. And finally, our last is... So excited. Let's see. Ellie York. All right.
Ooh. I couldn't fight Ellie because she's a Southern girl and they're terrifying Morgan. I'd probably fight Jake Hurley because he has a heart condition, so that would be easy. Sorry. Marry Alexei, probably kiss Ellie.
Okay. Yeah, that's valid. He has a heart condition. gosh, so good. Okay, so that was Spilling the Tea with Susie and Professor Hotchkiss. Thank you so much for joining me, and be sure to join us next week. We're gonna have Ricky on, and she's gonna be having her turn in a hot seat, and it's gonna be so much fun.
Yes.
And we're gonna make her play FMK a whole lot, and it's just gonna be the best. And hopefully we won't have the same problem that we had tonight where we couldn't hear her. So
it wasn't meant to be. The stream was like, no, you're on next week. Stop.
Yeah, we just couldn't handle the chaos.
Couldn't handle the chaos. We tried to bring chaos and we brought it.
We tried. You guys, we had a script.
We did. We had it all thought out, and it would have been great. It just didn't happen.
It would have been so good, but it wasn't. So, oh well. Maybe we'll try to fake you guys out again in the future, but
now they're expecting it.
I know. It'll probably never happen again. Don't worry about it. All right, so join me tomorrow night. I'm going to be playing the final seed. I'm going to try to get it done in one go. So let's go. And I'll also be back at home, so I'll have better everything. I'll have better sound and everything. So join me then. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been so much fun. It's been great getting to know you better and making you answer all these weird questions.
Putting me on the hot seat. I'm apparently here for it.
On the hotch seat.
On the hotch seat. I appreciate a good pun. So that was excellent.
Like you like my Clue Cruise letter?
Cruise letter? Yes. I'm going to probably put that in the next one, honestly.
I'm so honored.
Yes. Hotchkiss Introspective. Look, there's a logo. Sorry, I'm doing a shameless little plug.
Yes, actually, somebody in the chat earlier asked if you would model that.
Hold on. There.
It's so good.
That's the logo. And there's other stuff. And I just knocked my earbud out. And there's a drumstick on it, on the sleeve.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes. So, if you want to go, you don't have to, I won't be mad, on my Streamlabs merch site. Everything has a drumstick on it somewhere.
I love that.
And there's a very fun thing coming when I finish it. But I wanted to launch it without that because I figured this would be good too. So, when Liv knows exactly what I'm talking about, and she's not here right now, but if she was, she'd probably be screaming. So
just imagine her screaming. We have
just imagine Liv screaming.
Yeah, amazing.
She'd probably be saying Bob Saget. Thank you for having me, Susie. This was excellent.
Thank you for coming. I will link all of your things in the description when I post this video on YouTube after this, so everyone can check you out. And thanks for joining me, everyone, and have a good night. I will see you next time. Goodbye.